What was it like for you to hear the news and think about coming back to Minnesota?
It was pretty cool. Just knowing that, Tim was reaching out as much as he was and, trying to get me back over here. Obviously, I've always wanted to be back over here. So seeing the team do well and, me feeling what I'm feeling, just, happy to be back.
How do you feel about it? I mean, do you know what your role is going to be? What's it look like?
No, I don't. I'm willing to come in and do whatever, whether it's, not play at all, play a little bit, if I have to play a lot, whatever it is. Just want to contribute the best I can and go from there.
Just walking back in and seeing a lot of familiar faces again, what's it like?
It's super cool, man. Like, I'm like a nostalgic kind of guy. Like, I was just in Memphis and seeing people that I worked with and the staff and people in the arenas and all that, like, that was super cool. And then to come here, a team where I've spent 2 years, the same thing. Like, I'm happy to see all the ushers at the arena and, the people that work in the building and, people I got to come across every day.
Did the way that kind of things ended the first time really kind of make it easy to come back, I guess, with the way the Wolves kind of helped facilitate you?
Yeah, definitely. Reaching the Western Conference Finals, then watching them get to the Western Conference Finals again last year. It's just something I'm familiar with. It was the same situation in Memphis. I was very familiar with what was going on over there. So to be back here is, something I'm familiar with.
From afar, just kind of, what do you think about this team this year? How is it different from your teams? How do you see yourself maybe fitting in? What can you add to the game?
Yeah, I kind of want to, like, whatever happened in the past was the past, good or bad. Just want to come in and really watch the game. I've been watching the last few games that these guys had and just, figure out a way I can help and find my niche and find a way to contribute. Like I said, whether that's not playing, whether I'm on the court, whatever it is, just whatever happened in the past, we're going to leave that there and, try to figure out a new way to get to where we want to be.
What's the image of Anthony Edwards in the league? We always know him, Timberwolves. What's it like to play against him, and where is he at in terms of what pedestal they put him in?
I mean, yeah, he's a bad boy. That's like what everyone sees. What you guys see, what his teammates see, that's the same thing that the guys around the league see. That's a bad man right there. So good to be back on his side.
And it's good to be bad, you mean?
Yeah, for sure.
What's the value of being in a place where you know the team, the organization understands and values your skill set and what you bring?
Yeah, I've seen that firsthand just playing for a few teams where I think, they kind of didn't see it. It sucks. I was with a lot of young guys in Utah and in Memphis, and I was in another situation. I was like, hey, man, that grass ain't always greener. So you better, wherever you're loved, you better make the most out of it there.
Kyle, you said you're talking with Tim a lot in the past couple of weeks. What does that process kind of look like when you are maybe entering the buyout market? How does that all work?
Yeah, well, it was a lot of my agent and Tim going back and forth, and then the night I signed, the day I signed, I spoke with Tim, and it's kind of something you let your agent handle. I was just, I'm big on being where my feet are, and I was in Memphis and wanted to focus on that. And then once my agent presented me with the idea of coming back to Minnesota, we spent a few hours. I told him, let me think about it, give me a few hours, and then we got it done within 6-7 hours. So that was just a process. Again, I want to focus on Memphis and focus on what I need to do there. And then once this opportunity came and the Grizzlies were willing to help facilitate, that's when I kind of shifted my focus to coming to Minnesota.
You were kind of the glue in the front court when it was the Rudy and Carl were there. That's changed with Julius in place. Like, how do you look at these front courts from a couple years back to now and what's evolved there?
I don't know what to expect, honestly. It's different from watching the game as a fan and watching the Wolves play to shifting into Kyle, where can I find my niche and where can I help the team and watching the team from the bench. So I'm looking forward to the first few games to seeing how the dynamic is compared to what it was 2 years ago and going from there.
Kyle, what is this process been like for your family and like just move to Memphis come here? How has it been just kind of navigating the last couple of
Well, I kind of just sent my family back to New Jersey. I got a 7-month-old now, so they're going to settle in New Jersey. But just as far as the process, like within those 6-7 hours, I was on FaceTime with my grandmother, and I asked her, what I should do, and she said Minnesota right away. So I kind of knew it was right. But my family's very excited that I signed back here.
Where does Finch rank among coaches that have really kind of understood the way you play the game?
Yeah. I would say number one. I would say number one for sure. I think I was fortunate enough to play for a few coaches, Coach Spo, Taylor Jenkins, Coach Pop, Finchy, just as far as understanding my value and skill set. And then it kind of sucks when you play for a coach that doesn't understand it.
Kyle, this team does have a need for ball handling, defensive versatility. I mean, when you looked at it, could you see a pathway toward, really being a help to this team?
Like I said, it's different from seeing it from watching the game as a fan than me seeing it on a bench tonight. But I think these guys are doing a great job. Like, I don't think I'm coming in to save the day or do too much. Like I said, however I can contribute and however me and Finchy see fit, when we sit in his office, then that's how it would go. But, I'm not coming in expecting to play 30 minutes and taking all the ball handling responsibilities right away to save the day. Like, however I see I can help, that's how I'm going to do it.
Kyle, you shot 41% from three your first year here
Mm-hmm.
at I, and you shot 23% your second season. Where do you feel like your shot is at 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think the thing with the eye, that was one of the worst years, but I think I've gotten a lot better. I thought I shot the ball really well last year. Not really well, but, better. This year, I think I'm shooting the ball well from the corners, so just ready to knock it down from the corners, try not to hesitate, try not to think about it. And, I feel really confident in it.
There's been a lot of opportunity for you the last couple of years. Do you feel like, though, relatively the same player as you were when you got here?
I do, man. I don't. Other teams, do you feel kind of old or, you still got it? I think one of the media guys said to me in Utah, and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel old or anything like that. Like, I still feel like I'm in my prime, ready to go.
Yeah, when did 32 become old?
Yeah, that's not old at all. When I first came in the league, there were 37, 38, like multiple on a lot of teams. So,
Joe, like you.
Yeah, true.
How difficult was that season or half season in Utah? You mentioned playing with a lot of young guys. Obviously, they're not fighting for a championship. Was that kind of difficult, or?
I don't even want to get into it, honestly. No, I had a lot of fun in the organization, and everybody in the organization was awesome. Obviously, when you're playing not to win, it gets a little tricky and tough, and I didn't enjoy it personally. But, the staff, the players, I love the players over there. The staff was really cool. The people in the organization were awesome. So nothing bad to say about them.
You come here though, and they're playing for for keeps. You know what they're up to. Do you stay patient? And you don't know. I mean, it might be the playoffs, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, the matchup is such that you need 12 minutes out of Kyle tonight. Is that why a veteran's important in this thing?
Definitely. Like I said, like I just said a few minutes ago, like I'm not expecting big minutes. However, whichever way I can help. I think that happened in the season 2 years ago where Denver I wasn't really needed, Phoenix wasn't really needed, and ended up playing a lot in Dallas. So that's just how things go when you're on a winning team.
You were a pretty vocal leader the last stint here. Do you anticipate being able to kind of jump into some of that, or is that something where you want to get to know everybody first? So,
it's tough when you haven't been around and you come in and it's like nobody.
You know some of these guys, but yeah.
No, they don't want to hear that from me. They don't want to hear that from me. You haven't been here all year. Shut up. So, I mean, when I can pitch in, I'll do my part. But no, I mean, it's obviously the dynamic's a little different.
Now, why did Grandma like it?
I'm not sure. I think she really loves Ant. She loves Nas. So I'm not sure she has her way. She watches a lot of basketball, though, so it's not just like a wild stab in the dark for her. Like, she's up watching games. Like, you could go on the camera and check what she's doing in the living room. She's watching League Pass. So, yeah, she's locked in. So.
Where have you seen Jaden grow the most over the last 2 seasons since you last played with him?
That's not me. That's everyone else. I've seen it in the one-on-ones and on the 3-on-3s and, the work we do behind the scenes. I've always knew he was this kind of player. So I think everyone else is seeing it. I knew how good he was. I always thought he could be a 20-point game scorer in this league. So it's nothing new to me. I knew he had this. I've always wanted him to play this way.
You were a big part of a championship pursuit here. Is it fun to come back into one and kind of try to help complete the mission, I guess?
It is. That's the first thing me and Mike, me and Rudy, me and Ant, that's what we spoke about when I ended up signing. They called me right away before the Clippers game and we spoke about it, and yeah, it's definitely exciting.
There was a lot of excitement just among everybody. Is that kind of come into just that welcoming of the
I'm trying not to focus on it good or
Teammates, though, like,
oh yeah, my teammates for sure. What's going on in this building for sure, definitely. You know, these are my guys. I spent All-Star break with them last year in Cabo. You know, I keep up with them all the time. I hang out with Nas and Jaden in the summertime. Like, these are my guys.